evening everyone and welcome to Tracey's Cakes. My name's Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes and I'm here this evening to do a demonstration on a Christmas cake. So this is our first of our Christmas demonstrations on this Facebook page, and tonight we're going to make a Christmas stocking themed cake. So that's what we're going to do this evening. Apologies for being a few minutes late. Kelly says I wouldn't tell you the reason, and I am going to tell you the reason. So I forgot to put the tutorial videos onto the...
And who was that thanks to? That
onto this program that we use. So we would have gone live with nothing to show you. So anyway, we've now sorted that out. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for those that have been waiting. So I'm not here alone. I have the lovely Kelly with me this evening.
Hello.
So Kelly's here on comments this evening. So if you have any questions or you'd like to ask about anything that we're doing on the way, then do please let us know. So I'm live tonight on this page. Then I'll be live again tomorrow morning at 1 o'clock on Patchwork Cutters Club, which is another Facebook page. So if you want to join me tomorrow with a painting project, then I will be on there tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So that's called Patchwork Cutters Club, and it is a free Facebook Live on that particular page tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Oh, I can see lots of you logging in. Good. Right, so we are going to start shortly on our cake. Just a couple of things as well. We are also live on YouTube. So if you have any difficulties with Facebook during this evening, then you will be able to go across to our YouTube channel, which I will put up quickly for you now with a very familiar name as everything else on my social media. So if you do have any problems watching tonight, then do please pop over to YouTube and you'll find us on there streaming live as well, all being well, hopefully anyway. So this is our first big cake project tonight for Christmas. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to do our larger cakes on Tuesday evenings for the next 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to be doing our smaller projects. We're going to do our cupcakes and our biscuits and our other bits and pieces on Saturday mornings on Let's Shop Cake Live. For those of you that watch that, it's a Facebook page on Saturday mornings at 10. So we will be carrying on with that. And then on Wednesdays at the moment, I am helping Marion Frost with Patchwork Cutters. So you'll find me doing 3 lives a week at the moment, up until sort of as we head towards Christmas. And then I won't be doing that many. I'll be having a lie down by then because I'll be done. So that's what's going to be happening over the next few weeks. But we will keep everything, or we'll keep you informed of what's going on. Best place to keep up to date with everything is check out our Facebook pages, or you can also go to our website, which is on the screen at the moment. Go into contact information page and you can request to have the newsletter sent to you as well. Kelly's got a hand up. Yes, Kelly.
I've just put a link up which is for the Tracey's Cakes events.
Oh, she's
so
very
if
good.
you ever wonder if we're live or what we're up to, you can find our lives up on the
I have to remember to keep that up to date though. Yeah, just check out the Facebook page. The events page is not normally too bad. I think it is actually up to date at the moment, unbelievably.
It
but anyway.
It's the 15th today, isn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
I'm up to date. Yeah, I'm live. There we go. Right, okay, so we're going to get started in a minute. We've got quite a big cake this evening to do. Let me bring this back a little bit. I've also got my iPad attached to a charger, because I got down here and found it was flat. So let's have a little look at what's going on. So this is the cake we're going to do this evening. So this is a good opportunity to think about whether or not you'd like to do a cake like this for Christmas. So how big is it? That's a very good question. I didn't check. So it's 9 inches because it's had some ganache added to it, and height wise it's 3 inches tall. So it's pretty standard cake. You could do this as a Christmas cake if you want to. We are going to be doing, let's come back onto this screen here, only because I've got a wire running straight across me here and I'm having to lean over. So we're going to be doing this kind of sugar paste covered. So we're going to show you how to cover it with sugar paste. We are going to dust it. So we're going to change the colour of it. Then we're going to do some painting. So we're going to paint some of the bits that are going to go onto the cake, and then we will put the whole thing together. So all in all, it should take us a couple of hours to get all of this done. So do stay tuned. So we will run through everything as we go. For those of you that met us at Cake International, thank you very much for coming to see us, by the way, on our stand, and welcome to all our new members and everybody else who's been watching us on lives and various other things since last Saturday. Very lovely to meet and see you all, and I know what you all look like now. For those of you that I have met over the years, we know what they look like now, don't we, Kelly? Yeah. Right, okay, let's get started. So let's go back to the cake while I just organise myself for a second. So we're going to cover this with sugar paste tonight. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint it with some water. So I've got a paintbrush here and we're just going to go over the whole thing with some water. So this is because ganache is now dry. If you touch it when it's set, it's completely dry. And I need to make sure there's something on here that's going to let the sugar paste stick to the cake. So while we're live, you're welcome to ask any questions about the live, obviously, and we will do our best to answer them as best we possibly can. Kelly is reading the comments as we go, so if she can answer them, she will. If not, she will ask me, won't you, Cal?
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan anyway. So we're going to go round our cake here. We'll just get this bit set up, and then once this is done I can unplug this camera and I can actually move again, because at the moment I cannot move because of this wire. There we go. So round we go. So it's quite a large cake this evening. We haven't done a large cake like this for a while, have we? What's the last cake big? Oh, we did a big Halloween one, didn't we? I guess. Cal?
Sorry.
We did a big Halloween one, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And that wasn't that long ago. We're going to try and do the board at the same time, so we're going to put some water straight onto the board as well. We're going to try and do the whole thing in one go, and we are going to do it with white sugar paste, so we will start getting that kneaded now. I'm going to try and remain organised, however we are using both sprinkles and dust tonight. The two things that always end up in a mess. So yeah, we have condemned ourselves already. Let me move this camera out of my way for the moment. I'm just going to move that down there. I'm just going to keep this on charge while I just start to cover this cake, and then we'll move everything round as we go. And put that there for a second. It's going to be in my way, probably. Never mind, that's okay. Right, let's move that out of the way. And we'll get down onto this camera. Let's go down to that one. There we go. Right. So we've got ourselves some sugar paste, so we'll get this out. Doesn't matter what sugar paste you use, anything is fine. There we go, a big block of white. To be perfectly honest with this cake, it doesn't actually matter even what colour it is particularly, because we're going to dye it. This time of year sugar paste is always quite tough to roll out because it's colder than usual. So I have just put it in the microwave just before we came on live for about 20 seconds, just to kind of soften it up a little bit, because otherwise it's very hard work. Got a bit of blue in there as well, just to add to it. There's a slight hint then what colour tomorrow's patchwork cutter will be. It's blue. And we'll get this kneaded. So you can see it's quite a tough knead to start with, and then all of a sudden it will change very, very quickly, and we'll be able to start rolling it out and getting this cake covered. So it's a bit of a workout for me now. This is the moment where I don't need to go to the gym. Do you like, Kelly? She's gone quiet.
No, I'm laughing at you. I just laugh.
Thanks, Cal. Okay.
Not like you have time to go to the gym anyway.
I haven't got time to go to the gym, no. There we go. Right, might need a little bit more than that, I think, maybe. Tiny bit more, do you think, Cal?
Are you doing? Oh,
I'm pointing at.
that's code for
Pass me
get
some more
behind the
sugar
table.
paste.
Is this one okay? Or do you want one of these?
I'll have that small one, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just add that in. That is okay. We'll add a little bit more sugar paste to this, I
Quite
think.
squishy. So.
That's fine. We'll add a bit more in just to make sure we've got enough, because we want to try and do the board at the same time, all in one go. That's the plan anyway. You wouldn't believe this, but we actually do have plans, do we, Callie?
Yeah, we are.
We do actually have a plan when we go live. It's hard to believe it, but we do. Right, you say this is squishy, but oh, I'll tell you what, this weather doesn't help. The minute it gets cold, or colder, it starts to get much tougher, as you can see. We'll have to talk about the weather while I'm doing this. Right, there we go. It's going through now. Okay. That's it. And then once you can see it's changed consistency already. It's already gone smooth, whereas when I first started kneading it, obviously it was quite hard looking. Now it's gone quite smooth, so we'll keep going for a minute. Just make sure we can get it nice and pliable. It'll be a lot easier for me. There we go. Bit of a workout to start with, literally. So I'm going to move my cake out of the way. There we go, that'll do. Right, let's move this out of the way. there for a moment. Let's come back into view. And then what we'll do is move that camera up a bit, because we need a lot of space for this. There we go. Back
You're doing it all in one.
Yeah. Is that all right?
I love how you're asking me. No, it's not.
Yeah, we're going to do it all in one. That's why I'm moving out everything, so we've got lots of space on this board to do it. And I'm making sure the sugar paste is nice and soft. So it's hopefully a bit easier for us. Right, we'll stick some ice and sugar down so things still keep moving in for us. I'll grab a rolling pin. Make sure it's not got any blue on it. And then we'll start rolling out. So it's a big, big cake. We're going to need to make a big circle. So we're just going to quarter turn it as we go. There we go. And we're up and running now. There we go, round we go again. So any paste you want to use for this is fine, doesn't matter. Anything at all, whatever you've got. Obviously, if you're trying to do a board like I'm going to do and the cake at the same time, one that's going to work reasonably well or have some stretching quality to it would be good. There we go. Oh, it's speeding up now, thank goodness. Ooh. I've got something black on my rolling pin now. Where's that come from? How are we doing? There we go. So while I'm doing this, I can tell you now that some of my tutorials have come out for Christmas now. So we've had 3 tutorials out now, new ones for Christmas. So yesterday, the Christmas lantern, which is a painting one, came out. And then at Cake International, we had the new cupcake wreath one, which came out, which is behind me. You'll see it when I come back on screen. And also the penguin painting one as well is also now out. So if you're thinking of signing up for classes, Kelly will put you a link up to the school.
I will indeed.
And you can go and have a look at that as well. We're giving you options, new options now. You can sign up as a monthly member, or you can buy your classes outright and keep them forever. Entirely up to you. Right, we're nearly there. Just want to try and make sure we can do that board in one. If I can't, we will do it separately. It doesn't matter. Just nice to just get it done in one if we can. Huge piece of sugar paste. Let's keep it moving. Okay. I think we're there, almost there anyway. Once we get to a point with it, which is about now, we can start using our smoother or our smedger, and we'll go round and we'll just make sure that all the lumps and bumps are out, and we will get it flat. There we go. It's got flat with a hint of glitter in here, because everything we touch at the minute has got glitter in it, isn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, always.
Kelly's even worn her sparkly coat this
I
evening.
bought my coat to be sparkled. It was sparkly last year and it was so nice. So now this year I want it to be even.
Yes, Kelly is hoping that she is going to get she's going to get a sparkly coat, aren't you, Kelly?
Shuffle in.
Right, I'm just moving the cameras around a little bit just for a second, hold on. Right, okay, so we're going to put this on there, bring it back. I'm going to run over to the other side of the room, grab the cake.
What's a kingpin rolling pin?
A what?
Kingpin rolling pin.
Don't know. I've had the same rolling pin for years. Right, okay, here we go. So I've just got black dusting colour on everything. Okay, I'm just going to move that camera out of the way for a second. So we'll start there. And we'll go all the way across And hopefully, all being well, we'll do it in one. You never know. We'll see how we can manage it. So we'll start at the top and we will bring the sugar paste down towards this side where it's a little bit shorter. And we'll go round and round, making sure we've got all the air bubbles out. We don't want any air bubbles in there before we start bringing it down. It's not a tall cake, this one, so nice and easy in terms of dropping the paste down. It should be fairly straightforward. Although I shouldn't say that till I've done it. Okay, and then all we're going to do is just use the side of our hand, just go round. And as we go down, we get towards the bottom of the cake, we can attach it to the board at the same time. That's the plan anyway. Go round. We'll see it starting to settle eventually. So we're going to make it in one, which is good. Happy days. There we go. There we go. So what we want to do is make sure we've got all the air out. If we haven't got all the air out, then we're going to end up with problems with it connecting with the sides will blow. So we don't want that happening. So we have to go around and check firstly that we've managed to get all the air out, which we think we have now. As you can see, it all settling down. And then what we're going to do, this is it. This is the lovely smedger edger. So we're going to pop this onto the edge of the cake, and then we're going to very carefully, we're going to work this all the way around the cake, and this will do our board and our cake all at the same time. So as it comes round, when I've got to grab the cake here, you'll see that it will be pushing the sugar paste towards the cake and flat on the board. I'll flatten that bit out. There we go, that's it. Okay, let's go around again. Can you see on the board here what it's done? I always think cakes look better when there's sugar paste on the board myself, and this little gadget is rather good at this, and it will save you a lot of time and fuss if you can do it in one. You only then need a tiny amount of sugar paste to cover your board versus covering the whole of the board, so you're saving yourself some money long term once you've got your smedger. And once you've practiced and had a go at doing it, and it's not that difficult to do, lots of my videos on YouTube show you how to do it, then you'll be able to crack it. Now I've got an air bubble appeared, so I'm going to take hold of one of these acupuncture needles that the lovely Donna sent me, and we're going to just get rid of that. Let's go round, have a look, see how we're doing. So far so good. Plastic side scraper, I'm going to just take that to the edge there, and I'm just going to cut my sugar paste away. So I'm going to treat it like a pie. You'll see that coming round. There we go. So imagine you're making a massive pie and you're just cutting off the crusts. That's all we're doing, is just trimming away the excess sugar paste, and so we are left with a lovely covered cake board. Right, let's come around here a bit. Go, nearly there. That forward a little bit. So the cake board is very similar size to this turntable. There we go. Okay, like that. Now to be sure we've got this right, we're going to go round again. We're going to really push that smedger into the corner there. So if we see any air bubbles appear, so there's one just there, we can then go back and we can push it in a bit further to make sure that it's all connected like so. And then if it stretches back a little bit, which it has done a bit there, we can always press that down and encourage it to come back to the outside edge again as well. So all is not lost if that starts to happen. Just press it down and again use the back of the smedger just to adjust it like so. This so Massaccino, which is the paste, we've got an element of this in here tonight, is quite stretchy and it can do this sometimes, but it's brilliant for covering that one, so that's why I do like that one. Okay, so we're nearly there with that. You all right, Kelly? Mm-hmm. You still with me?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm just watching.
You're watching. She's in the room, aren't you, Cal?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. Let's check we've got it all. Now, if you want to sharpen up your top edges a little bit, we have one of these, which is called a sharp top edger, which you can pop on the edge there like so, and you can go round, and that will sharpen up your edges under there as well. So if you like a gadget, this is a nice one for making your edges a little bit sharper. So if I show you the difference between that and that, you can see, hopefully you can see it on camera, that's where I've used it and that's where I haven't. So you can see it's more of a rolled edge there. There's nothing wrong with a rolled edge. Sometimes that's what you need. However, tonight we are going to go for a bit more of a sharp edge. So we're going to go across this like so, backwards and forwards. Don't go too mad with it. Is that right, Kelly? There we go. Right, like so. And almost there. It's such a big cake tonight. I'm having to work hard to get all the way around it. There we go. It'll be worth it in the end, she says. There we go. All right. Just tidy up that little bit there. So that's our cake near enough covered. I can spot another air bubble, so we'll have that out before we go too much further. Just go back and specifically take any out that you see. They all start appearing all at once normally. As long as they don't appear the following day, I don't mind. Just not not when I finish my cake, thank you very much. Just going to retrim my board. You're coming back again with a vengeance, you are. That air bubble's obviously got it in for me there. There. So if you haven't seen a smedger before, so we have got them on our website and they are brilliant.
I have linked them.
Have you linked them? Or you?
Yeah.
Well, I knew you would.
I'm paying attention. Can you see that I'm not paying attention?
Well, I'm not looking at the comments, you see. That's what's happening, Kelly.
I'm wide awake, Mummy, don't you worry.
We've had our tea, so we're definitely awake, aren't we?
Yep.
Right, there we go. That's better. Lovely. Right, okay, happy, we're done with that. Let's move that needle out the way because we don't want to have that lying around anywhere, just in case. Right. Kelly?
Yeah.
Right. Can you just pass me the Trex, please? Thank you. Right, okay, so next thing I'm going to do is rapidly plug in my camera because the battery is coming up low. Go back onto this camera for a second. Hold on. Just going to switch. We're just switching onto this camera for a second. Just while we deal with that one, which is being a pain. Right. That does look like I've been drinking with this camera. There we go. That's fine. So next thing we're going to do, move some bits out of the way. So we're going to take hold of some Trex or some white fat and we're going to just literally very carefully go over the top of this cake in one go. But we're going to put a thin layer and there is an emphasis here on thin. We are not going to be putting on a great big thick layer of it, and actually we're going to avoid the middle. We don't need to do the middle because we're going to be having something put on top of that, so there's no point in doing the middle section, so we're going to leave that part out because we won't see it. Okay, there we go. So I'm just leaving the section in the middle out, so you can see I'm kind of going round in circles a little bit there. Like that. Actually, it gives me an opportunity if I can feel any air bubbles as well, to be honest. Okay, and then we're going to work on the sides. Let me just check this is working again. Yep, should be. Right, let's go to this camera again. And then we're going to go down the sides of this. So we need to make sure we've got everything. You've got to be really, really certain with this that you've gone over all of it. Now, because I've got a bit of a light shining on this, I can actually see whether I have or haven't, as the case may be. And I can see at the moment where I have missed bits or not missed bits. So if you've got a bit of a light you can shine on it when you're doing it, or don't get distracted, then you should be fine. Now we're going to make a big mess in a minute. With sprinkles and dust on the same live. It must be a mad mistake, but there we go. We're going to do it. because that's our plan, isn't it, Kelly?
Yes.
But when we finish dusting, we're going to run a couple of videos just to give us an opportunity to be able to tidy up a little bit. So all the bits and pieces we're showing you tonight, you'll find on our website. So Kelly is putting up various links. So if you want to have a go at any of this, then you will be able to do that as we go through the evening. Put up what we've got coming up. So we're showing you some new things tonight. So we're showing you some things that we haven't shown anywhere else as yet. So if you do watch me on other lives, you won't have seen some of what we've got tonight. So that's exciting, isn't it? So I'm going to do the board as well. So I'm just going to go round with that. For those of you who've seen me do this before, because I have done this on live several times, we are getting ready to dust the whole cake, except the middle, because we don't need to dust the middle. But if a bit falls in the middle, it doesn't matter. But we're going to be covering that part, so there's no point in me working that to death, because we won't need to. We're just going to make sure we've got everything else done. Okay, I think we're there. Just checking those outside edges. Okay, there we go. Right, stand by for the mess, that's all I'm going to say. So we're going to use Wonder Dust Bright Gold. There it is. We have got some of this on our website. We love it. It's brilliant. We're a massive fan of the Wonder Dusts. They are absolutely lovely colours. We've been using them on everything, literally everything for Christmas, and why not? So I'm going to put a piece of kitchen roll down here. I'm going to tip some of the Wonder Dust onto here. Put some on. I've got a soft brush. It's like a blusher brush, this, to be perfectly honest. It's not anything more complicated than that. And I'm going to just start anywhere. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to slowly start just by sort of dabbing the colour on. So don't forget, I'm not going to do the centre because we don't need to. I'll just keep refilling the brush as we go. So we're having a gold cake tonight. So we've decided we're going to dust the whole thing gold. So that's where we're starting from. So just take your time, work your way around. You're going to you can see it spilling onto the board, but that's fine because the board is going to be gold as well. So we're okay with that. So I'll just keep going. So what's happening is the dust is sticking it to the Trex, which is on the cake. And so we're leaving a gap in the centre for our middle bit, which is our display in the middle tonight, which is our stocking themed, Christmas stocking themed cake tonight. So hopefully it will give you some ideas to do something for Christmas maybe. And you'll also find as well, we won't use, like when you look at this, you think you go through a whole pot, and you won't go through a whole pot at all. It actually goes a very long way. It's really quite good, to be perfectly honest with you. Right, so now we'll just go back and just sort of buff it a little bit. So we'll take some of the excess off. Look at that for coverage in one go. I think that is absolutely wonderful. Okay, and now we'll go on to the sides.
Shall I come closer in proximity?
Yeah, Kelly wants to get a...
Might come right behind the camera.
Kelly is kind of looking to...
I just want a sparkly coat again. It was kind of everything.
Yeah, last Christmas when we left here one day after doing this, Kelly goes, oh, my coat's covered all in sparkle. And it lasted all year, didn't it?
Oh, it was so nice. I don't know where to stand.
Stand downwind a bit. That's it, you can stand behind me.
We obviously gassed ourselves out.
Well, I think we had it everywhere, but there we go. You can see it coming round now.
Can you do it with any dust?
You can, but if you want it to be all lusted and lovely like this, then the Wonder Dusts, which are particularly good for this, look the best. You do need the right kind of brush. You just need one of these sort of blusher brushes. Just go to like Boots or somewhere and just buy one that's specifically for this. Don't then put blusher on yourself, although that would work with your coat, Kelly, if you wanted to have a sparkly...
What, I start covering myself in Trex?
Yeah. No, I mean like as in, you know, if you had this as a brush that you were using for the Wonder Dust on a cake and then using it as blusher the following day. There we go. Like so. If you want to test anything, if you ever want to answer the question, you know, what you've just said about can you do it with any dust, roll out a bit of sugar paste and try it. That's what I reckon. Doesn't need to be a whole cake, just get a little bit of sugar paste, roll it out, stick some Trex on it, and then add some dust to it, just like I'm doing, and then you'll see how that works. If it works for you, brilliant. Job done. Sure, I didn't get any ribbon out, Kelly, tonight, I've just realised.
Is that Kelly, I need ribbon?
No, I'll get some later. It just means I'll have to sort of jump across to the other side of the room. Right, I'm just going to put my hand under this. There we go, that's better. It's making my arm ache holding it over this wire. Right, so not much further to go. A bit more Wonder Dust, I think. This pot wasn't full to start with, so don't anyone think I'm using the whole pot, because I'm not. Okay. There we go. Actually, to be honest with you, at the moment I haven't made too much mess, but there's always room to play with. I'm sure I can manage it at some point. So I'm just kind of dabbing it on, as you can see. So once you get that first layer on, then it's much easier to kind of buff it after that. So it's just getting that first bit on there. But if you put Trex on really thick, then it doesn't work. It's really difficult to deal with if you do that. So don't go putting on Trex in a great big thick layer, because it will actually work against you. If you want to know where to get Trex from, it's usually somewhere like
Any supermarket.
big Sainsbury's, big Tesco's, Waitrose, Ocado, they've got it.
Someone says just about cleaning the brush. The only way to really clean the brush is to take the brush and just
Soak in hot water.
yeah, soak it on hot water, and then go round on a bit of kitchen roll to dry it out.
And leave your brushes to dry this way round,
Yes,
not this
that's what I
way
mean.
round. That's where people go wrong, is they leave them like this, and then it destroys all the bristles. So you don't want to do that. Right, we're just going back across it now. So we're just kind of, there we go, we've got a gold cake, everybody. So if anybody was ever doing one of those sort of like gold bar type cakes, this would work well.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, you like that idea? Go. It's ever so quick to do. It doesn't take up a lot of pace. Once you've got that first bit on, you just have to kind of go through the pain barrier of that. Once you've done that, there you go. You've got really nice gold cake. Okay. Look on the board there. What do you think?
Very bright, very vibrant.
Bright and vibrant. And just cut the. I'm just going to go round.
People saying that Trex firstly isn't available anymore. You can buy white flora, I think it's called.
Well, you can still buy Trex. We bought it last week.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes smaller.
Well, if you can't get it, white flora will be okay.
You can also get it on Amazon. And does the cake get wet?
No, it's greasy.
And does Trex give it a fatty flavour? Trex doesn't
No.
really taste like anything.
It's the
It's
tiniest
vegetable
amount of grease you could possibly imagine. Okay, tiny, tiny, tiny. We're not drowning it in grease. We are literally putting on a layer that's holding this in place. That's all we've done. So there's nothing more than that. Okay. It's a very, very, very thin layer of grease. So it's not going to make the cake taste greasy at all. If anybody's thinking that's going to happen, that's not going to happen. Right, we're done. Let's do that bit again there. Okay, now I won't bother to wash up my brush until I finish the whole thing in case I knock anything and I need to redo anything. So I will just keep this to one side. But in terms of mess level, I'm going to give myself...
That's actually looking not too bad. I might roll around in that later.
That's a 7 out of 10 for me, I think. Don't you? For mess? As in, like, you know, not too much. Quite pleased with that. Okay. I just knocked that with my arm, so let's move that out the way. Right, okay, let's come back onto screen for a second. My hands are covered in it, but that's just irrelevant, isn't it? Right, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to run a video now of the transfer sheet that we're going to use in the centre of the cake. So I'm just going to explain to you a little bit about what transfer sheets are, because some people go, what's that? What's she talking about? So transfer sheets are acetate plastic sheet with a pattern that's been sprayed onto it with cocoa butter. And when you actually heat it up, what happens is the cocoa butter pattern imprints onto the chocolate as it cools down, because chocolate is warm when it goes on. Once it goes onto the transfer sheet and sets, as it sets, you can then, or once it's set completely, so you chill it right down in the fridge, you can then pull it back and you will then have a pattern which will then mark your chocolate. So it's like creating a pattern onto chocolate. Now the chocolate we use is Calabao. So we have been buying at the moment large 10k, so you can imagine how big a 10 kilo bag of chocolate is, and we've been weighing it into smaller quantities because trying to buy small bags of Calabao this year is impossible because they have made them, they're not available because they've made other sizes. So we have made our own bags of Calabao this year, 500 gram packets that we've been including in all our Christmas tree kits and various other things. So we've been using Calabao to do this cake. So that is a chocolate which you need to melt very carefully. It's not one you just stick in the microwave, stir and hope for the best. You do have to follow a little bit of a process to do that, and we do have a video on our YouTube channel about tempering chocolate, but to explain it quickly and briefly, it is literally putting chocolate in little buttons into a bowl, melting it for 30 seconds in a full power microwave, doesn't matter how hot it is, as long as it's full power. So if you have a microwave running at 600 or 800 or whatever it is, 30 seconds, pull it out, stir it, put it back in, 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir, and you keep repeating this process until it's completely melted, and then you can see that it runs like double cream, and then you have created the right chocolate for you then to be able to use in our molds and on these transfer sheets. Now that's a very quick verbal summary of what this is in terms of melting it, so I do urge you to watch the YouTube video at another time, which is about 5 minutes long and just shows you the whole process there anyway. So if anybody needs any help with that, then do have a look at that as well. So transfer sheets this time of year, always very popular for making chocolate lollies. We're going to obviously use it on our cake. So we're going to show you now a little video, or there's 3 little videos all connected together, which will show you how it's all done. Let me find the videos. Did I put them on here? Yes, I did. So that's a good start, everybody, isn't it? So let's start with that now. So for the centre part of this project, I'm going to make a plaque. So this is a transfer sheet here. I'm just going to take hold of an 8-inch round board, and I'm just going to go all the way round with a pencil and just mark it like so. So I'm going to remove a piece of the transfer sheet, and then I can just put this away for another year, and I can bring it out next year, or perhaps I might do some cupcakes later on. So I'm just going to cut all the way round in a circle like so, and then this piece will be ready for me to cover. So you want to get all this done before you melt your chocolate, because once the chocolate's melted you need to act quite quickly. So that's the reason why we're doing this in advance. So all the way round till we get to the end. Now with the transfer sheet, one side will feel smooth and one side will feel rough, so the side we're going to pour the chocolate onto will be the rough side. So I've melted my chocolate, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some onto the surface of this plaque. Now I'm doing it on my work surface because I'm going to pick it up in a minute, because I want to make sure I've got kind of quite nice sharp edges on this. It's fairly thick. I wouldn't say it's completely thin. I just want to make sure I've got a reasonably sized plaque, but I can push the chocolate off the edge. I just want to make sure I've got plenty of it covered like so. There we go. And then once I've done that, I can put my finger under here and I'll be able to find the outside edge, which I've now got. I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to pop it onto my tray and pop it in the fridge and leave it to dry. That ended quicker than I was ready. Hold on. I have to go and get my cake. I just looked up and thought, oh my god, the video's finished. I'm not there yet. Okay, so the plaque that we've made, I'm still covered in gold by the way, has been set. Now I made 2 this afternoon. Now I made 2 because I always make a backup one for when I'm doing a live, just in case anything goes wrong. But there was actually quite a big difference between these 2, so I'm going to show you what I mean. So these are the 2 plaques that I made. Now one of them has dried a little bit like sort of humped, so it's not completely flat. This one has dried completely flat. Now the difference between the 2 of them is that this one had more chocolate on it, whereas this one had less. So when chocolate dries, it contracts, and what it's done is it's basically pulled up a little bit on this one, so it's not flat, whereas this one is. Because it was heavier, it didn't contract and pull up as much as this one did. So we're going to use this one. That's my backup one in case anything goes wrong. So the transfer sheet's on here now, and we're going to pull it back, and that is what you're going to get in the middle, which is super duper. I love this. I think it's amazing. Please don't break it, Tracy. Right, so I'm going to put that bit to one side. Now I'm going to stick this on my cake with a little bit of royal icing, because that's what I've got. So let me grab myself a palette knife. Okay, and then what we're going to do is get hold of some of this. And we just need a little bit to hold it in place, because we've got other bits and pieces to go on and around it. You could stick it with a bit of chocolate if you want to. It's entirely up to you. But I've just literally got here a little bit of royal icing, so that will be fine. We will use that. So I'm going to be very careful here. I'm just going to move this in this place. We're going to do a swap. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on here on my cake. I'm going to get this stuck to my cake now, so I don't end up basically having an accident with it later on and doing something awful to it. So I'd rather get it in place now. Go. So you can stick it down with chocolate or a little bit of royal icing. You see what I mean about not needing to do that middle now? Magic. How cool is that? There we go. So that's that bit done. So I'm sure Kelly will be probably eating the other one anyway, won't you, Kel?
I can't say no.
We're going to put that over there for a second. Okay, so that's where we are with our cake at the moment. So we're now going to make a decoration to go on the top here, and then we'll come back and we will finish painting all of this later on. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to bring that there. So we're going to run another video for you now while we just swap some more equipment over. So we have got another video showing you how we made the stocking that we're going to put on the top here. We're going to set all our painting up and we're going to get everything painted. So we've made two things. We made a stocking and we also made some presents. So hopefully I've remembered to put both these videos on here. I never know. Let's see how we go. Now I'm going to take hold of some of the chocolate. I'm going to pour it into my Santa's boot mould. Now I'm going to actually do two, but I only need one, and the reason I'm going to do two is just in case anything goes wrong and I manage to break it or do anything that I don't want to do to it on a live, which is quite possible. So what I'm doing is just moving the chocolate around like so. Just keep going with it. Probably with a little bit more at the bottom there on that one, I think, for now. Just fill it up, and then we can always tip the excess chocolate out. Like so. So if you move around the mould, like I'm doing, just tipping the chocolate to the edges, you get quite a nice thick coating. Don't worry about it running over the edges, that's all fine. We can deal with that in a minute. Make sure we get it right. So this is what you would do if you were doing, you're going to join them together. We're not going to join them together, we're going to keep them separate. I'm only making two just to make sure I've got one that works. Okay, so if you want to make them hollow, you're going to need to tip some of this chocolate out, and that's ever so straightforward. You're literally just going to take hold of your container like so, just tip them upside down, just tap them, turn it back again. You'll have a thinner coat then of chocolate inside your boot. Go like so. If you're unsure that you haven't got enough chocolate in there, just as it's drying, just go back and do it again. A little bit short down the toe of that one there. Just keep playing around with it until you've got it all covered. Just use your spatula just to bring it up to the edges. And then once you're happy with it and you're all sorted, we're going to pop it in the fridge and leave it to dry. To make the parcels, what we're going to do is just take hold of a paintbrush and we're just going to paint the inside detail of these moulds to make sure that we're not going to get any air bubbles. So we're just going to paint a selection of presents. We've got some oblong ones, we've also got some square ones. Now if you turn it over when you're painting, just to see that you've got all the gaps, which I haven't in that one, so put a bit more chocolate in and just go ahead and paint the centre. So all we're doing is basically making sure that the chocolate is going to fill the gap completely, so we don't end up with any air bubbles, which we would then have to paint. Potentially we would have to do them again. Let's have a look and see what I mean. Just make sure you've gone over the whole thing. That's all dried. It's just pushing the chocolate into the gaps. That's all we're doing really. So we'll paint up a few of these. Then once we've done that, we'll get hold of a piping bag and we'll get them filled up. So I'm going to take my chocolate now and just fill up the parcel mould like so. Just run straight round and air bubble in there. You can put, you know, if you wanted to put a nut in this as you're going along, you could. So if you wanted to put in some filling maybe, because these are quite deep, these moulds, you could do that. And then once you've done that, make sure you tap it to get all the air to come to the top, and then pop them into the fridge for roughly half an hour. I've just thrown white dust everywhere, that's fine. Kelly, don't look at my back. I've just chucked white dust everywhere just as I was about to turn the camera off. Okay, so there we go. That was a bit of a summary there on how we've made the chocolate parts that we do for this particular project. So we try and film some of these things in advance because otherwise we get in such a pickle with the mess, although I'm doing a very good job this evening of making a lot of mess myself. And now we're going to paint them. So we're going to paint our chocolate using a product called cocoa butter. So cocoa butter, and we're going to show you how that works. Let me turn this around so you can have a little look. It's all set up already. So this is how we paint chocolate. It is the only way to paint chocolate. If you want to try and do it with something like gels or alcohol, then it basically will fall off. It's as simple as that. So apart from the mess, which we won't look at because I just chucked a load of white as I went live, we've got here a chrome food warmer, which is something you can buy on Amazon. And you can see in the middle there, I've got a tea light which is lit, and that in turn is making this metal paint palette hot. In the process of doing that, it's melting the cocoa butter, which you can see is starting to melt here. And then in place here, I have a mess in this section of white, woodland green, I have got bright gold, and I've got red. Now I will probably add some other colours to this as we go, but we'll just start with those ones as a basic to get going. So we have got, let's put that there so we can see it. So I've got here 4 presents, 4 little presents, or 5 actually, 5 presents. And I've got some little red bows, bows that are going to be red, some little bows there as well, which is another mould that's available on our website. That was all made the same way as I did the others. I kept it as straightforward as I possibly could. Yes, Kelly?
I'm saying with the bow mould, was it shown on the video? I didn't see it on the video.
No, I didn't do a bow mould.
Okay, things like the present mould and things like that, if you're making a lot of Christmas things, it's good to make up the whole mould together.
Yes, I make up the entire sheet.
Yeah, or if you are making something else and you have a bit of chocolate left, always put it in like a little present mould or a little thing, because you can always use it for other things. It's a very useful thing.
So yeah, what we've done here is basically, so because we're doing lots of things like our Let's Shop Cake live at the moment, so we're doing lives continuously at the moment, we need extra bits of chocolate. So this afternoon all I did was just made up full trays of everything. So I've made up full trays of stars, full trays of bows, full trays of presents, all sorts of things. So we've got some options ready for when we start doing the rest of our demonstration. So it can be quite sort of straightforward like that. Now in the time that I've been talking, you can see that the cocoa butter is still continuing to melt, so that won't be much longer now. I'm just going to get myself a little bit of kitchen roll just to help me clean my brushes. Now, because this is quite a big brush, big area to start with, I'm actually going to use a bigger brush just to put my paint across here. So I'm going to use white on this section here, and I'm going to paint this section red. Now, this mould can be put together as a 3D mould. So if you wanted to make a stocking that was 3D, so it basically goes together, you would melt the 2 sides like that and then put them together. You can do that, but we're just using this as a 2D mould, so we're just having 1/2, as you can see on there. All right, just in case anyone thinks what she's done with the other half, I'm not using it. So I'm just going to take my brush, I'm going to go for the white first, just dip it into the white, make up a bit of a paint. So it's dusting colour and cocoa butter mixed together. Stop it moving around. So we'll just do that to start with. So I'm using a bigger brush because it's a bigger mould, nothing more than that. These are called large paintbrushes. They are on our website.
They're good for everything. I'm on it, don't you worry. I'm here.
Kelly's putting a link up for you if anybody wants one.
They're good for ganaching, they're good for large scale paints.
Yeah, so for something like this where you've got a large surface area, then they're good for. So we're just going to literally just dab it over the top of our mould like that. And we're going to dab it for this one. See how quickly this will be done, very, very quickly. So we're just going to dab that like so.
I'm accidentally
What are you doing?
adding things to my cart.
Are you? Okay.
Well, I've just added some 3 Christmas dusts.
So rather than sort of put it flat, I've taken it and I'm just going to dust this bit here so you can see this bit at the bottom here. So I'm just stippling it rather than painting it flat because I don't really want it to look flat. I want it to look stippled. So that's why I'm going over there like this. Okay, so that's that bit done. Now I'm going to move around to the red. I'm not going to bother to take the white out of my brush. I'm going to use that white to mix in with my red. So it's going to lighten my red up a bit. Like so. And we're going to have to do at least 2 layers of this to cover because it's always much more trickier to cover with a slightly darker colour. So it's gone a sort of a salmony pink colour at the moment. But that's okay because we want to do another layer later on. So we're going to do this slightly differently to what we've just done. So we are literally just going to take the brush and sweep straight over the top of it. Like so. As quick as you can. So that you don't get too many marks. Leave it to dry it will dry very, very quickly. So it's 1 to 2 minutes for it to dry. And once it's dry, we will then come back and paint it again and we'll make it a little bit darker. I think I'm just checking I've got the bit round the back there. No, I haven't. I knew I hadn't. Okay. And that's it. So we're going to leave that now. So when you're doing your painting projects, always have a few things on the go at the same time so you can kind of leave things and then you can come back to them and carry on with them after that. So we can just leave that now to dry and then we'll come back and add a darker colour to that later on. But that's a pretty good start, isn't it? We've done that very, very quickly. Right, let's have a look at the presents. So we might bring the camera in a bit closer for the presents because they are a little bit smaller to see. So we'll have a little juggle around with things so you can see a bit better and we'll bring the camera down. And what we'll do is we will bring me back on camera for a second. Bring this down so I can see it better. There you go. And then you can see what's going on. So I actually want to make these bows red. So I could carry on just using the brush that I've had a minute ago. Now what you'll find when you take this out of the cocoa butter is your brush will go very hard. Because it contains cocoa butter and you have removed it from the heat, it will set. So you might find your brush will go hard, but that's okay, that's not a problem. So again, with these, I'm literally just going to run my paint straight over the top. Now there are ways you can dye chocolate red without having to paint it, if you particularly want to. But I like to make I just prefer to do everything in white or dark or whatever colour it is I'm doing in chocolate and then paint them. It's just quicker for me. That's your personal taste. Right, we'll leave that there for the moment. Do the next one. Try not to hold the chocolate because obviously I've got heat in my hands and heat in my hands means that I will end up melting it with my fingers if I'm not careful. So I'm trying to keep my hands off the chocolate in the process. I thought you were waving at me, Kelly, then.
No. I have cake in my hair.
You've got cake in your hair.
Got everything in my hair. I'm turning into you.
I know. We've been busy today, haven't we? We had a very
I
busy...
went ham on the mail order today.
Yeah. Anyone waiting for mail order? We've literally, I think we've only got about 5 left to go, haven't we? We've done really well. We've really whizzed through it today. So anyone who's placed an order, they're on their way. Just waiting for 1 or 2 more bits to arrive now, and that'll be everybody. So we're ready and waiting to inspire you for more Christmas. We've been very active on a platform called TikTok recently. So if anybody wants to follow us on TikTok, we are on as...
Mum's getting pretty savvy on it.
I'm getting very savvy on TikTok, you know. The joy of it for us is what we're doing is making really super short tutorials that you can watch very, very quickly. It's like watching a summary of something. And I've been making them all about our products. So our Christmas jumpers, our 3D Christmas trees, all sorts of things.
I did the potion bottles.
Kelly did the potion bottle. So there's also, there's us chasing an ice cream van if you fancy a laugh. But anyway, there's all sorts of things on there. So if you are on TikTok, go and have a look for us and you'll find us at Tracey Mann Cakes and you'll see some of our tutorials. We do share them on our Instagram feed as well. So you will see them appear on there. So we try to keep things available for everybody. So if you don't have TikTok, you'll still see them appearing. Right, there we go. Again, we'll just leave those to dry. The first one's dry already, ever so quick to do. And then you'll find that they're dry already. Right, let's have a look at these. We're going to change our brushes now. We're going to go down to some of our smaller brushes. So I teach lots of painting classes online, and for that reason we have therefore lots of brushes, and they've got numbers on them, and that's what we refer to when we're teaching. So in other words, we say we're using paintbrush number 2 today, paintbrush number 1, and all these different numbers that we've got on here, and it's very helpful for being able to kind of tell you what it is exactly that we're using. So we're sticking with a bit of a colour theme tonight. If you haven't seen it already, we're going for green, white and green, red and white and gold. Those are our themes tonight, so that's what we're sticking with. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get green on that Father Christmas thing, because it's very likely that I will. Let's move that around there a little bit. There we go. So we're going to paint some of the presents to start with. So these are a little bit more tricky to paint, but what we'll do is we'll start off with this colour here, which is called Woodland Green, and we will put in some white, so we'll brighten it up a little bit to start with. I was going to go for moss green, but we've ended up with Woodland Green.
No, Woodland Green's our Christmas green, isn't it? Moss green is our Halloween green.
No, was it?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember earlier today. Halloween and Christmas have merged together somewhere along the line. Okay, and then all we're going to do is we're just going to paint some of these presents. So we're going to just go around the outside edge of them. So there's a bow in the middle. So what I suggest you do when you're doing something like this to keep it moving is just do all of the green first, then all of the red, and then all of the gold or white or whatever it is that you're doing. And then you can do all 4 of them quite quickly. So we're going to do some different colour presents. So we'll do some green ones to start with, or we'll do a couple of green ones maybe. So this is our present mould. You can get quite a few presents on that mould. How many's on that mould? Can you see it from here?
Presents. I will look on
Kelly will find out for you how many's on.
They're different shapes.
Yeah, they're different shapes. So they're long or square. Just paint around the outside edge there. So you can do all of this 17 presents on a sheet. So you can do all of this in advance of Christmas. So you do not have to sit here on the day you've made your Christmas cake and do this at the same time. Now we do this because obviously we're live and we want to show you how to do it, but you can do this in advance a different way. So you can get these made up, get them in a box and store them. To make sure it's airtight and well away from anything that smells when it comes to Christmas, because they do really can pick up smell, and
especially white chocolate.
White chocolate's the worst. I was looking for that.
You got what?
I've got what?
Royal icing in your hair.
I've got royal icing in my hair. Well, that's unusual.
What do you need?
I was looking for that moss green colour. Oh, no, that's spring green. No, you can have a look for me, Kelly. Oh, no, I can see it. I'm going to go for moss green. It's a bit brighter, I think. I think woodland's a bit dark, so let's go moss. So if I change my mind, so I've decided I'm going to try this one instead. I'm going to go moss green, a little bit brighter colour. There we go. That's better. I think this candle's getting ready to give out. I think that's what's happening here, because this... I feel the cocoa butter's quite stiff. I might switch that over in a minute. I'll get the candle ready to change over. When the heat starts to decrease, if I show you in there, if you can see my poor little candle is starting to struggle, the cocoa butter starts to get quite thick, and then it becomes quite sort of difficult to paint with. I can feel it starting to change, so there we go, that's better. I think we'll go moss green rather than woodland. It's a much brighter colour. It's better. It probably doesn't look like hugely different on screen to you, but it does to me. It will do at the end. That's better. Hugely better. Right, okay, now we've got what I want. Right, that's that one done. Let's move on. So we'll do 2 of those. So again, this one will probably come out even lighter. Let's turn that around a little bit. You can always put the 2 colours together as well. There's no reason why you can't mix colours together. 2 colour combinations that are really good, petal blue and grape violet, makes a really nice lilac-y colour, doesn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, and grape violet and dusky pink.
What colour does that give us?
Well, it's just like a nice, I think it makes the purple look nicer.
Yeah, we're not a big fan of grape violet on its own, but when you mix it with other colours, then it does actually look really nice. There's something funny about that colour, isn't there? We said
I think it's just purple in food does not work well together.
No, it's quite a murky colour, isn't it? But if you add in the other shades, it actually improves it massively. So
it doesn't make sense as to why, because there are purple foods, you know, but yet there's no blue foods except from like periwinkle.
That's very advanced for you.
Yeah.
Very observant of you, Kelly.
Oh, I'm a professional.
You are when it comes to colour, aren't you? Hey? There we go. So that one's come out a little bit lighter, but that's all right. Just trying to keep my candle going at the moment. And again, you can always paint over them darker, so if you prefer them to be a little bit darker, just go over it again. Turn it around. Like so. You might just want to leave these in chocolate. You might want to dust the whole lot in gold. If you're going to do that, I would suggest you make them in milk chocolate, because that will be a lot quicker for you. Once we've kind of done all this and we've come to put it together, you'll just realise quite how quickly this cake will suddenly be finished. So this is kind of the bit in the middle where you kind of just sit and enjoy doing a little bit of painting maybe. Let's do a bow, and we'll do a bow in green and then we'll do the... I'm sticking with my green at the moment because I can just do as much green as I want to, and then I'll switch over to red, and then we'll do all the red, all the gold, or whatever it is we want to do. So we may as well stick with the brush colour we've got at the moment. So this is all marked on here, so you just follow it, like it's like painting by numbers a little bit. So you just follow along, and again, if you clip the side of the chocolate, don't worry, because we can always paint it again because it will just dry. Turn it round a little bit, and again we can also darken it up later on with a bit more colour if we want it to be a bit darker. Okay, so we'll leave that there for a minute. Let's change colour. So we'll put our brush into our cocoa butter, and we'll just turn that around a little bit like so. We'll just wipe our brush rather than go running off to the sink. If you just take your brush and clean it in the cocoa butter on a piece of kitchen roll, that works quite well. Like so. I think my candle is definitely getting ready to give out. Let's see what it's doing under here. This is fairly warm. I'll keep going for the moment. Okay, let's go to red. And then what we can do, you don't have to paint them all completely. If you don't want to, you can leave some of them just looking at the, just the chocolate itself. A bit more cocoa butter. Let's make up a thick paint, see if I can get away with it in one. You never know. So again, we'll do a paint here. This time we'll do a red one. To say our theme is red, green and gold tonight. So very traditional colours. Like so. And we'll also we could even put some little spots on these presents. We have little gadgets to do that as well. We could do that with the dotting tools shortly.
think it would be a nice thing, like especially with stockings like this, it would be a good thing for kids to decorate.
Yeah.
It's just a very like free-for-all kind of thing, but if you could also write names on them as well.
Yeah, you could put name on the stocking if you wanted to. So if you wanted to add a name to it, you could. You could use a little tag, a little gift tag or something.
Or you can, if you're feeling brave, write it on top.
If you're feeling...
As if it's embroidered.
Yeah. I love the way you say, if you're feeling brave.
Yeah. You would do like cursive handwriting, wouldn't you?
Yeah. There we go. So the red's actually covering a little bit better than the green at the moment. There we go. It's quite quick, isn't it?
I think if you do them all red or green at the same time, it speeds the whole process up.
Yeah, it does. Then trying to do... I'm going to move you out of the way. Bring this one in. And then we'll paint along here. Yeah, you don't want to be changing your brush colour too often if you can help it, because one, it's a waste to paint, but secondly, it just takes, everything just takes twice as long. I mean, you may want to do your presents in lots of different colours, but we were just trying to stick with a bit of a colour theme tonight, because I do like a good colour theme, don't I, Kelly? I'm always going on about the colour themes.
Well, that's the most important thing.
Before we go live, we try and agree colours, otherwise it turns into a bit of a mishmash, because I'm bound to do something in pink, aren't I? And then you'll say something to me halfway through. There we go. But it's all about the detail with things like this. The first coat is always the one where you think, oh, right, okay, just got to get this done. And then the magic starts, and that's when you start seeing everything change with all the little things that we do to these parcels to make them look really special. So hang on in there. Actually, we're definitely, those bows are getting white.
Getting
dots.
white?
Getting white dots, definitely.
Oh, yeah. I knew you were going to do that. That's such a predictable thing.
Because they
for
would
your
get...
bows.
I know, well, I can't help myself. They will have to be have white dots on them. Okay. Right, one more after this, and then that's the presents first layer or first coat. Let's do this one. So I'm going to do this one red. I'm going to try and be very careful and paint around this bow, see if I can get away with it. I probably will be able to. What brush I've got here, brush 3. I can always go down a brush size if I need to. So if you find this brush is a bit sort of chunky for what you're trying to do. And also move things around. You see me keep moving things around all the time. Don't make it difficult for yourself by trying to keep things in the same position. Just keep moving everything around, and then you'll be able to get in there and paint it a little bit easier. Like that. And don't hold on to it for too long either.
You can always hold it in a bit to the kitchen roll.
You can hold it, you can get cotton gloves if you wanted to hold it in cotton gloves, or yeah, Kelly's right, you can use a little bit of kitchen roll and you can just hold it with that. It's because you've got heat in your hands, and the chances are that you're going to end up melting the chocolate if you're not careful, so you do need to be a little bit careful with it. There we go. So this is, as Kelly and I would describe it, a lovely craft day activity. Now craft days occur when it's doing what, Kelly?
Raining.
Raining. We stood in our conservatory this morning, went listen to the rain. Oh, it's a craft day.
Well, I said this on Saturday when I was at the NEC, someone said cocoa butter painting is great for a crafternoon, and I just thought that is brilliant.
A crafternoon. Ooh. That's a new way of saying
It's
it.
a good phrase. Mum, I woke up today from a text from Mum that just says it's a craft day, and I just knew.
Yeah, it's raining.
It must be raining, and not just raining a little bit, but raining tons.
Yes. So that means get your paints out, get ready for Christmas, get all this stuff done in advance, and then you'll be fine. Right, I'm going to put that there for a second. I'll bring this over here. Let's do a nice red bow on this, shall we? I think my cocoa butter's just about hanging in there at the moment. And just go back over this. So we get the nice red bow on there. I am using quite a big brush tonight. That's mainly for speed purposes more than anything else. But if you wanted to spend a bit more time being a bit more delicate, then you could use a smaller brush. Let's turn it round. the bow's a little bit 3D, so you have to kind of catch the sides of it as well. Go along there. And up the side there. So this present mould is cupcake size as well. So if you're making any cupcakes for Christmas, then you could always put a little present on the top as well. So you don't just have to use it for something like what we're doing. You can also use it for cupcakes. So I had to have a little think then as to what I was doing.
I can see that.
Did you see me pause?
Yeah.
You hear my brain ticking, Kelly? Oh, it's gone very dark red now. That's okay. We'll go darker red on this one. We are going to make them a little bit redder. You just want the cocoa butter to settle down to start with, because sometimes when you're painting white chocolate, it's easier to have a bit of a base colour down first before you start adding in darker colours. So when you go back over it for the second time, it's always much, much quicker as well, because you've got your first layer there, so it's much easier to do. There we go. That side. Turn it again, last time. Okay, so we'll leave those for the minute, and then what we'll do is we'll do gold bows on that one maybe, do you think, Kel? On the red ones?
Gold dots?
No, gold bows.
No.
We've got gold cakes. You want green bows?
Green bows.
We'll go back to green,
yeah.
shall we? All right. Let's change brushes. There we go. Let's turn that around. But we'll go moss green, and what we'll do is we'll try and make it really thick. So you can do it in one. There's a bit of white in there. White will always lighten it up a little bit for you. So if you think the colour's coming out a bit dark, just add some white to it. So I'm just going to check this candle again. Yeah, no, it's still going. Right, let's see what we've got this time. Yeah, that's okay. Again, you can always fiddle about with this a bit more if you want to. Those along there. Like so. I mean, this is very coordinated for wrapping. I mean, my wrapping doesn't look anything like this. I mean, I absolutely
you just made
hate
me do it.
wrapping
Mum
presents.
hates wrapping, and I don't understand
I
why.
hate it, so I make Kelly do mine.
I
for
love
me.
wrapping. I just like looking at the different patterns of things.
Oh my god, I can't stand it, so I give everything to Kelly to do.
The best part is I have
Except
such a
her own.
bad memory. Is that Mum could literally make me pack my own Christmas presents, and I would have.
I would not do that.
But if you did, I wouldn't even remember by Christmas Day.
No, you would have forgotten, that is true.
Yeah, I always forget. I go, oh my god, what's this? And then I go, oh Mum, how did you know? And you're like, because we bought it together. I'm like, did we?
Yeah, exactly. You'd have forgotten by then, Kelly. Okay. What are we doing? Let's move that up there a little bit. Right, so this is the last bit that we've got to paint that's on the first layer, and then we can go back and you'll watch these transform. They will change dramatically. So you'll suddenly go from seeing quite sort of, I always think this has to go through quite a murky stage for it then to become beautiful. So we'll pop that over there. Bit if I missed off there. I think I've missed off a bit of red on that one. Right, I've decided to go for 2 brushes now to make my life a little bit easier. That's better. Right, okay, let's put those over there out of my way. And let's bring that stocking back in again. There it is. Right, I am going to change my candle because I can feel that it's not bringing me enough heat. So we're just going to take this out for a second. Just switch it over to a new one. When the tea light gets really low, sometimes it's not producing enough heat to make the cocoa butter stay melted, and I can feel the cocoa butter's becoming quite solid. I can feel it's not staying,
or it's clumpy.
Yeah, it's clumping. That's why I'm blaming my cocoa butter tonight. So I'm going to just put that on there
It is
for a
really
second.
cold in here as well.
And it's quite nippy in here too. So let's get some more cocoa butter going. We'll put that onto there. There we go. Let's turn that around like that. Okay. you should see it melt a lot quicker now. It's just that side was hardly moving at all and it was getting difficult. Now we're going to use this brush again in a minute. Can you see that it's literally now gone rock hard? So that means that the cocoa butter has set in there.
What do you need?
No, that's right. I'll just let that melt for a minute. We'll turn that round because we're going to do this part next. So we're going to just give that a second to melt and we'll be up and running. So this is going to get, oh yeah, that's super hot now. That's exactly what we want. So that will go in there. Lovely, much better. Hugely better. So I'll just let that go into the brush. So it will then start to melt the cocoa butter that's already in the brush. There we get the brush going again. There it is. It's back to where we were. So we're going to go more red this time. So that first layer is just to kind of give us a basic cover. And now this is going to be our layer to kind of make it go very dark. Hopefully, she says. Fingers crossed. So we're going to go across there like so. There we go. So I'm working quite quickly and I'm trying to keep my brush strokes in the same direction so that we get nice coverage rather than no streaks. Now I would not overwork this. Once you've kind of done it, leave it. There we go. There we go. Okay, sorry, I'm a little bit off screen there. Okay, so there we go, that's that. Let's bring those red bows back in again. Again, I'm going to go full red now. So I'll just hold this steady. It's got a mind of its own tonight, this one. There we go. So we're going to make these very bright red. Dab that over the top so you can see quite a big difference between that and that. We have got another colour called Christmas Red. Now
it's a slight lustre, that one.
It's a slight lustre, but I also think that potentially you might be able to use something like the Snowstorm mixed in with the red. Do you think that would work, Kelly?
The reason I say possibly not is because it's already a lustre.
So you think the Christmas Red would be better?
I think Christmas Red would work on its own. I don't know, just because lustre dust are usually thinner anyway, the coverage is thinner.
The coverage is thinner, yeah.
So unless you did this colour, red, and then you did Christmas Red over the top.
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting.
Oh no, I thought you meant mixing them together. That's what you said.
So we're getting for a really nice deep red colour now. Also getting in a mess here as well. So you can see the difference between the two in terms of layer 1 and layer 2 now. If I move that up a little bit, you'll see though how much darker red that is. It looks like a bloodbath on television. There we go. Again, we're just going to let those dry. They won't take very long to dry. We're going to tidy up the top of that stocking in a second. I'm just going to go back and sort that out.
Make sure you've not got red on your hands when you're sorting it out.
I know, you're right. That's a very good point, Kelly. Right, let's move those out of the way. Up there. I've just caught one with my nail. Let me just put that there. There we go. Right, leave those there to dry for a second. Right, Kelly's made an excellent point there. Right, because I've already got red on me, I need to make sure I don't transfer that onto the white. So I'm just going to pick up another brush now. So I'm going to pick up another paintbrush 3 that I've got, and I'm just going to tidy up the white a little bit on the top. So I'm not going to use the big brush again. I'm just going to use the little one. Let's turn it round. So just where I can see areas that need a little bit of extra close-up work, so we're going to come down here. So the big brush was good for covering the whole area, but I need to sort of get under here now. Just dab it along the bottom there. If I make it a little bit fluffy down there onto the red, then that will look really nice as well. I've also managed to get a bit of red on there, so I can cover that up now with a bit of white. There we go. Like so. So anything you've missed, you can just kind of go over. So that's it. We don't need to do anything more for that at the moment. If you wanted to do the whole stocking thing, you could do. Do you remember like a black line across the foot and then across the heel? Do you remember doing that?
Oh yeah. Do you want to do that?
I'm not sure on that one.
Don't do it yet.
No, I'm not going to do it now.
Because we didn't plan for that.
We didn't plan for that, so we're not going to do that, are we, Kelly, at the moment? Right, let's go back to the presents. There we go. Bring those back in again now. So let's change these. I hate that bit of red in the middle there. It's driving me mad.
Where is the
Can you pass me that green board, please? That one that's got... Take that thing off. No.
This?
Yeah, take that off. Give me that green board. Thank you. Perfect. It's got a bit of chocolate on it, but it's not the end of the world.
Because we've got to make backup pieces.
I know. To make backup pieces. Right, let's put these on here. Right. So we've done the worst of the mess now, so I'm just going to transfer this onto this board, only because I can't bear to keep looking at that big blob in the middle.
What? When did you do that?
That's when I did the bows. Right, there we go. Could you just move that somewhere? There we go. Let's turn this out around.
Do you want me to hold up this reference picture?
No.
We should. What I would love to do is post our reference pictures, like our starting pictures, and then the final product.
Doesn't look anything like it.
Or play a game of like 12 days of guess what the plan of the cake is. So every day we post one of our horrible plans.
If you know on the Bake Off where they do their pictures at
and
the
they
start,
look so amazing.
They look amazing. As look terrible, as
like,
in
they
like
are laughable. And a lot of the time we do it. We go to the garden centre, as everyone knows, to plan all of our cake ideas and things like that. And a lot of the time, it's one of us drawing upside down.
Oh, it's awful.
Or Mum goes, right, okay, so we're going to draw... Oh, what about ghosts? And she draws these ghosts and you're like, what is that?
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
They're really bad.
So when I'm live, I've usually got the plan in front of me, although the plan has moved to the other side of the room.
I've got it.
Kelly's got the plan, but actually that's okay, because the plan is changing as we go anyway, so that's all right.
Always does.
But it never looks anything like what we've drawn.
No, well, I'm looking at the picture.
It's like laughable. I might
we should
even
post
show...
this side by side.
No, we shouldn't, because no one would... They'd all have a good laugh. They wouldn't believe we actually did anything. So, see, these are covering really well now, because they've got their first layer on now, so they're all covering really, really easily. Once we've finished this, you'll be amazed how quickly this cake will come together. You've probably even forgotten at this stage I've actually even been doing a cake, because some people will be busy tuning in a bit later, and we've not seen the cake for a while. The cake is behind me, so it is still here, but we will get that cake back, and then you'll be able to see it all come together as a cake for Christmas. So this is our first project for Christmas. Our cake is gold, made by the Wonder Dust colour that we've done. If I put those two side by side, you can see just the difference already. There we go. And I'm going to get a bit happy with my dotting tool in a minute. I can feel it coming on. I'm going to have to resist some of this.
Thank you for the warning. That means I've got time to find them.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like the one thing I can never find.
I know, but I know what's going to happen in a minute, because I'm going to end up wanting to dot everything, because I love that tool, but I just love spotty, you know, that spotty red wrapping papery.
Well, Mum always used to dress me in spots, didn't you? Red spots specifically.
Yeah.
Always. Oh, there's a dress that reminded me of you. It's red spots.
I know, but you look very cute, you see. Can't have been red all the time, Kelly.
It was always red.
At least it wasn't pink.
I like pink.
Oh, I know, you see pink.
Maybe Grandma was right all along. She always used to take me shopping and go, pick your colour, and I'd go, absolutely not. And then now I don't want to buy anything unless it's pink.
Right. Okay. Oh, I missed that little bit down there. Someone laughing at us at the garden centre.
I haven't got that message.
I haven't got that comment come up. Who's that pixie?
Why don't I have that message?
Well,
Some of the messages you get and I don't get them.
Well, maybe I've got special codes there, Kelly. There we go. Right. Yeah, we're due another meeting actually.
Yeah.
Are we not, Kelly Mann?
Yeah. Got to tell you about my week first, haven't I? We didn't get around to that.
Well, it's too late now. The week's underway.
Week's underway. We've got nothing planned. Time to panic.
Yeah, exactly. We're already halfway through. We will be by tomorrow anyway.
Oh God, don't say that.
Well, we will be. It's Wednesday.
Still a day behind.
Wednesday tomorrow.
I think it's Monday still.
No. We're already there. Okay. Right. I'm speeding up this operation here. But in some ways I don't want to go too fast because otherwise the bits I need to be dry won't be dry in time, so it's a bit halfway here. Let's make these bows nice and dark now, so they'll match my other bows. The bow theme going on here. We always say when we put the little white dots on the red bows, they look a bit like Disney stuff, don't they?
Oh well, we shouldn't even mutter that word.
We're probably not allowed to say that word. We might get banned. A mouse character.
A mouse married to another mouse.
Yeah.
Multi-million business.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, there we go. And now this one, and then a quick round with the green, and that's everything painted for the second time. So it's much quicker on that second time round. Get much better paint coverage. And you can spend longer on this than me. Don't forget I'm doing this as a live, so we don't want me to be on hours and hours distracting you from everything. They'll all say, no, stay till midnight now, you wait. Okay, there we go. All right, quickly back to the green. Just go over the bows. So my paintbrush is set again, but that's all right.
I'm ready with my dotting tool, Link.
Are you ready with your dot? Well, I haven't got that far
I
yet.
am.
I know you
I'm
are.
actually ahead.
You're ahead of the game.
Well, I thought I was ahead earlier. I had all the moulds picked out. And then you were like...
I started talking about
and
something
then you
else.
started talking about something else, I had to find it, and then suddenly the video was running and I couldn't find anything.
There we go. And that way. So cocoa butter doesn't taste of anything, so you're not going to we're not affecting the taste of these chocolates, by the way. It literally is tasteless. And it's only on the outside of the chocolate as well. It's not in the chocolate, so it's quite a small amount of colouring going on. If anybody's worried about that side of it.
It's like transfer sheets don't taste of anything, do they?
Yep, transfer sheets, they don't
They're
taste of
exactly the
anything.
same thing.
It's cocoa butter again, so yeah, they don't taste of anything either. Let's turn that round. Go up this side. And then down here. Have I done that one? I've done that one. I'm repeating.
Oh my god, she's losing
I'm
the plot
losing
now.
the plot now, right? Tiny bit more white.
Bit more white. Oh, right. Thought you were onto dotting tools. I thought this was
No, I'm not there yet. Almost. The moment is arriving. Just doing my green again. Just to make sure I've got my presents done. Thank God I don't have to paint my presents. Oh my God.
I would love that even more.
I'd hate
Remember
that.
one time it was your birthday and we had no wrapping paper, so I had to make you wrapping paper out of pieces of A4 paper on a massive present.
Did you?
Yeah, and I had to tape it all together and it looked god awful. So I used like felt tip pens that were like running out, but
When was this?
oh years, and I must have been about 8. I thought, no,
I've wiped
I
that.
can't give it to Mum like this. I guess I'll have to decorate some paper for her.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, I do.
There we go. Right. Last one. I can see a couple of bits I've missed, but I'll catch those as I go because I've got 2 brushes on the go. So if I turn one round and realise I've missed a side, I'll just paint it very quickly. But these are being done at super high speed. That's all I'm going to be saying. So
Oh, that's a nice idea. They'd be nice with a boozy ganache inside and
Yeah.
scattered under one of the chocolate Christmas trees.
excellent.
The chocolate Christmas tree mould, sorry.
Yeah, we'll show you our Christmas tree mould.
I like that idea, that's cool.
These are quite deep, these moulds, so it certainly is possible to put something like
an orange cream inside.
an orange cream. I was going to say a nut, but not when Kelly's around. But yeah, you could put hazelnut in there or one of the other fillings. That would be a good plan.
Praline.
Right. I feel like I need to lie down now. Okay, let's go round to my white. So we're going to add some embellishments to our bows. Let's turn the bows around. We probably will do some on the presents as well because I won't be able to help myself. We're going to use one of these, which is called a dotting tool. They come in sets of 5, and as you can see, they've got different ends. They're very tiny in some places, and then they're quite large in others. And what we do is we use these to make dots. So what you do is dip them into your paint. Let me try and bring my paint in a bit so you can see what's going on. So we're going to dip them into the white paint here. And we're going to literally just touch. What they do is they make exact round circles, whereas if you try to do this with a paintbrush, it's much more difficult. This is much easier and much quicker. So you just keep dipping it into the cocoa butter. Because remember, you can't change it at this point. You must stick with cocoa butter still. Like that. So don't forget to go down the side of the bow. Remember, don't go in the middle of it because that's the inside edge of the bow. Like that. Can you see that okay? There we go. So very quick and easy. So these are used in nail art. And a couple of, well, probably the beginning of last year, I suddenly thought, you know what, you could do quite a bit with these.
What, dotting tools?
Yeah. In food art.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly, I've been using them on everything. Literally.
I think they're just a very useful thing to have, especially if you don't have like a steady hand or something.
Yeah, they're really good because they're going to give you an exact dot versus doing it with a paintbrush where it's going to be a little bit more, well, not exact, is it? So there we go. Like so. I'll move that up a little bit so you can see. So if you do want a set of dotting tools, they're on the website. Kelly's put a link up already. They are used as, say, nail art, but obviously if you are a nail technician, please don't use them with your food and your nails because that's not going to be very good. You need one set for your cakes and one set for your nails. Keep them separate. Okay. And a few more dots to go. That's those. Put them over there. Now we're going to put one of these actually on the stocking, aren't we?
Yes.
So according to our very badly drawn plan.
I mean, the bow on here looks a bit like something else.
Oh no! No, Sheila's asking if I lost my ring. No, I haven't got my rings on tonight. I left them at home.
We just spoke about that as well.
I left them at home tonight.
Mum goes, right, my rings. I said they're on a cake board in the cake room. Yeah, I can't lose them. Okay.
I was filming something this afternoon and I decided to take them off. And
It's the chocolate mould.
that's where they've been ever since. So, yeah, that's where they are. Okay, right.
Don't worry, none of them are lost yet.
Yeah, I haven't lost them. Oh no, I wouldn't even be live. I'd be at home trying to find them. Okay, I'm just going to mimic these as well. So don't forget to do down these bits here as well where the ties are on the presents. I'm hoping this is all going to look lovely when it's all put together. I have high expectations for this, Kelly.
Why is that Kelly on the end?
Well, because, I don't know.
It's like a pressure on me even though I haven't participated.
I want to do a gold centre on those bows. I'm trying to resist, but...
Don't.
I know, I want to though.
No, Mummy.
No, resist.
Resist, Mum. You've got enough gold.
No,
You'll regret it and be upset.
I would not regret it.
I think you will.
Okay. Yes, Kelly. Can never have enough gold. Right. Okay. Yeah, we are actually doing a cake here. You wouldn't believe it, would you? But we will be shortly. We're quite close to going back to our cake now. Let's pop that over there. And am I allowed to do dots on the... Can I do them on the wrapping?
On what, the red ones?
Yeah. She's looking at me.
Just get on.
No, because it's going to get too many dots. Right, okay, we're done. That's it. Let's get things moving around on the rest of it now. Okay, so we've done all our painting bits and pieces. We are going to stick one of these bows onto here. So we're going to have a little shuffle now of things. Let me move those.
Blow that candle out.
Well, no, because I might need it. So I'm going to leave it there for the moment. But we will remember, Kelly, that we got to blow that candle out, won't we? Isn't that right? We won't forget. Right, I'm going to
We probably will forget.
lift my camera up a little bit there so we can see a bit better. Where's that cake gone? There it is.
How can you not see it?
I know. How can we not see this glowing? Yes, it's definitely here, isn't it? We can see that all right. Let's go on to there. There we go. Right, let's stick this together. Okay, so let's start with...
Do you need royal icing?
No,
you got some.
No, I've got
There's some here.
No, I've got it. No, I've got it here. I'm organised. Don't faint.
Miracles do happen.
Miracles do happen. Pardon?
Sorry, I mean we're trying to communicate via whispers here. I thought you wanted sprinkles.
Yeah, round that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Right,
said.
okay.
No, I've got them
All
here.
I saw was... No. Oh, yeah, sorry. I
What do you
thought
mean,
you had
no?
the blue ones then, I thought.
Well, there are blue ones in
Yeah, I
there.
thought it was frozen blue and I thought, oh my god.
You don't trust
What
me,
did
do
I say
you?
earlier about blue and gold?
What was I going to say? Oh, I need...
I'm putting down some royal icing.
Yeah, I know, but I need a bit of water in it, so I'm just going to tip that away. So I've got a little bit of here. Right, we're going to put some sprinkles around the outside edge now here before we get too carried away.
Not just any sprinkles.
Not just any sprinkles, but Kelly's Christmas tree sprinkles we're going to use to go around the edge of this here. Because I don't want to leave this like this because it's raw. We need to tidy that up, otherwise it looks horrible. So we're going to tidy that up now using some royal icing, which I am putting into a pot and adding a little bit of water to, if you want to hear what that noise is in the background. It's just to make it so we've got a bit of glue. It's just I haven't got much in there, so I'll stick a bit more in. A tiny bit more water, I think. That's fine. Something like that. So royal icing. Okay, we're going to use these, which are Kelly's Christmas tree sprinkles, aren't they, Kelly?
Yeah, which I've been weighing up a lot of.
It
It seems I weigh up 10 every 2 days.
Yeah, we're doing very
And then
good.
Mum goes, and more please.
And more, please. So I'm going to just put a little bit of royal icing going around the edge of this, and then we're going to pop some of these sprinkles on here. That's what I said about sprinkles and dust on the same live. Yeah, I must be cursing myself here, but I'm going to do it. And then we're going to take hold of some of these. I may regret this.
Well, we'll know because she'll look at me and go,
I will.
"Oh, Kelly, I do like it."
Yeah, Kelly, no, that doesn't look like our drawing.
Well, if it looked anything like our drawing, I think we'd be a bit screwed.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be very happy about that. Put them on.
Why don't you pipe it with a Wilton nozzle?
No, because it's easier like this.
Right, okay.
You're looking at me and laughing.
Well, no, I don't know what colours.
Okay, yeah. Right, let's go around here. I'm going to have to put some... Right, there we go.
Do you need help?
No.
Okay.
Okay, on there. Got a few snowflakes going in here. Right, let's go around. Joining it all together. Oops, I've got a little bit of chocolate on there. Sorry, a bit of icing on there, but I can just wipe it off. Put it on like so. Whoop. I'm being very careful with these sprinkles because if I'm not, what will happen is they'll roll all over the place and then they'll upset my Wonder Dust. I don't really want that. As with everything with this, trust the process. Isn't that right, Kelly?
Yeah. Just going to link the transfer sheet.
We know what we're doing here. Don't faint, but we do. Right, let's take that out. There we go. Right, so what we want to do is we want to end up with some on the transfer and some on the cake, because that's the aim of it. So we need to thicken this up a little bit. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, round we go. So we'll add a few more when we get round to that side. There we go. So what I've got in there, let's get rid of that. Okay. So it's just covering up these edges really, because I just don't like raw edges particularly on anything. I'm a bit fussy about things like that. So we're just kind of getting rid of all of that. Making a bit of a garland actually.
Oh, God. She goes, oh, as long as it's reminiscent of a wreath.
Well, I'm not reminiscing of a wreath. I said we need to be careful it's not
And
reminiscent
we know
of a
how
wreath.
the wreaths have been.
Because I like wreaths, but every time I touch one on a live, it starts to...
No, they were going really well, and then you just had one really, really dodgy wreath.
Well, it
And
wasn't...
then you tried to redeem yourself on another wreath, didn't you?
I did, and I did redeem myself.
Mum sits herself down for Christmas and goes, right, we're doing a wreath.
I know, but I like wreaths because they're themed, you see. Themed wreaths.
I like Christmas trees because they should be themed, but unfortunately ours is not.
No, ours
The
isn't.
theme is turd.
You've been rude about my tree. I have a very busy tree made of all sorts of lovely things.
Well, when I was younger, I remember I had a
you
friend
made.
over from school and I said, oh, we can decorate our Christmas tree. And she thought, oh, great. So she was going for our stuff and she was going, what is this?
But there's...
She was like, so where am I meant to put this stuff? Is there like anything you want up specifically this year? No, everything has to go up. Everything, not themed. You don't go through it and go, oh yeah, we'll do a pink theme this year.
But
You go, oh look, a wolf head and a
Kelly, you bought
pom-pom
these
rainbow
things.
ball.
You made me buy a lot of this stuff. This is the problem.
No, the wolf.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, Kelly, is that, like, you know, the reason it's like that, and lots of stuff you'd made, I can't bear to throw it away, you see.
My friend's got a fully knitted Christmas tree.
Who has?
Flo.
Oh,
Her nan makes
oh, yeah.
all the Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And the whole tree, like, I mean, you can't even see tree at this point 'cause she always makes about 5 more every year. The whole tree is just
I love that idea.
knitted.
I love that idea, though. Right, here we go. Getting towards the end of this now. I'm happier now because I've got an extra thick layer of lovely sprinkles going around the outside edge. And we're going to go around the base of it as well so it matches. So we'll do that next while we've got it all on the go and I'm in sprinkle mode. So we've bought 3 ranges of sprinkles out this year. We've got this one, which is the classic Christmas. We have got pink Christmas tree sprinkle mix, and we have got frozen blue. So there are 3 this year. I might need another pot of sprinkles, Kelly. I don't think I've got enough to go.
Someone who says, I need to make time for painting, you have no excuse if it's raining. That's all I'm going to say. You need another pot?
I will need another pot, yeah. I'll have to get round this, round the base.
Here's some I made earlier. Literally.
Let's get that on there. Right, I think we're just about there on that part. Oops, got a few escape ones. Right, okay. That looks nice.
Lovely.
That's better. Need a thicker layer of sprinkles. That's what we needed. Right, okay, let's bring this camera back in on the side. And we'll come down here a little bit. Take that out. So I'm just fiddling with these wires here so we can get this side bit.
Is it charged enough, yeah?
Yep. Well, it's been on charge the whole time. Okay, let's do the side. So what we're going to do here is this, whoops, is not do that, Tracy. Take that away. Is we're going to put some royal icing around the base here. If I have messed up this Wonder Dust at any point, I can always go back over it. It's not the end of the world.
Or just cover it up with other things.
Yeah, I'll put some more sprinkles on it or something. Right, I'm just going to have to put these sprinkles on slightly to one side here. So I'm sorry, but you'll see them as they come round. Because if I try and do them any other way, if I turn around now, you'll see them. There they are. It's kind of just to stop them running all over the cake. Right, I'm going to open up these ones now.
You need like this. The Dresden tool with the little shovel on the end.
No, I'm not doing that because it'll take too long.
Okay. Well, there's an idea.
I know what you're saying, but it will just take too long. Where's my Wonder Dust brush? I'm just going to... There we go. That's where I've disrupted it a little bit, but you can see what's happening here. There we go. I'll go this way. Put a little bit more royal icing down here. So the royal icing will eventually set and hold them in place. So don't just put them onto this Wonder Dust and expect them to sit, because they won't. Even though it's a little bit greasy from the tracks, it will not set completely. So you will need to add something to hold them in place. So all I'm doing is picking them up and just dropping the sprinkles in position, coming round this way. Back a little bit. Actually, it doesn't matter, to be honest, if some of them are a little bit sort of rogue on the base. And again, as you go along, if you've messed up a little bit, just take your brush and just go over it like so. So don't worry about knocking anything. There we go. See how it's picking up this up here? That was the idea behind that. Just go along like so, and nearly I can just about see the other side. We'll go all the way round to the end part now. So the icing is quite soft, as you can see, so I've dropped it quite a few times. Doesn't matter, so we'll get our brush out and get rid of it. Right, sprinkles, here we go. A few going on the table, but nothing too...
You hear them dropping.
You can hear them dropping a little bit, but nothing too drastic. There we go, push those back a little bit. I quite like them a little bit loose around the bottom. Do you, Kelly?
Yeah, I like it when they like spread out a little bit.
Yeah, I think I prefer that. I think less is... I can't say with Christmas, I mean, you know, whack a load of stuff on, that's what I reckon. It's Christmas, isn't it? I'll have a bit of... Quite like the little blue ones as well, just kind of on the outside edge there. What I might do, because there's some blue ones in the bottom here, I just add those around the top here. I can feel Kelly going, oh God, no, she's going to ruin it.
Well, I'm just watching what you're doing.
I'll promise I'll stop. Now. Is that okay?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, I'm stopping now. I'm just taking off the bits that have just appeared. Right. Which camera are we on at the moment? We're on this one.
You're on the side camera.
Okay.
Okay,
Top one. Let's go back to the top one. Okay, let's decide where our top and bottom is. Which bit are we going to have at the front? I'm just going to put some more sprinkles down there because I think this is going to be our front. So yeah, keep your brush handy. Don't sort of get rid of it until you've finished completely. Okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way for a second. Right, let's stick our... Now, I need to pick this up fairly quickly so I don't end up... In fact, I could even use some kitchen roll to stop myself touching this. I'm going to pick this up and put some royal icing on the back. You can use chocolate if you prefer. You need something to hold it together. And then we're going to pop it down, like so. Top there. So I've disturbed one of my sprinkles as I put it down. Let's move it up a little bit. There we go. Put it into the middle. There. Okay. And then we're going to put our little bow on top of the, put that there, like so. See, they've all dried now. And then we're going to put some presents coming out the top. One there. Oops, I've moved my stocking then. One there. Oh, actually, no, that's okay. We'll swap that one over for a red one. Otherwise I've got the same colour going on in the same place. There we go, that's better. Like so. Do we have 3 presents coming out the top?
Yeah.
Yeah? Put that other one on this side then. No, because that's the same as that one.
They're all going to be the same one.
No, that's okay, actually, that's fine. Like that. Yeah?
I can't tell you.
Okay, that one we decided was going to go there.
Got too many green presents.
Hmm?
Yeah.
And then this one we're going to put there. And then we've got our little bows.
On the gold bits, Mum.
Yeah. He's looking at
A look of concern.
Well, you've got the plan. All right, one there. Kelly's got the plan, so I'm doing this block.
I mean, I'm trying to read half of it.
One there.
We've got gold, TIS. What's TIS?
Transfer sheet.
Oh, transfer sheet.
There.
What looks like shock.
Okay, right, let me find my ribbon. Hold on. Actually, where's the Pritt stick? Is that there as well? Yeah, that's there. That bit. Let me just leap over and find some ribbon.
Oh, it's so Christmassy.
Right, I've got to find my ribbon.
Red.
Red. Oh, that's good. I found that straight away. Result. That looks mega Christmassy from here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think we can safely say we've achieved Christmas. Right, if this doesn't get you in the Christmas mood, then nothing else will. Right, let's move that out of the way. Let's have a mini tidy up here. So we're just going to put a ribbon on the board.
Finishing touches always come together, but you two together make my day. That's so Pixie. We're a comedy act.
We're certainly that, aren't we, Kelly?
Some
Right.
people at the cake show were like, "Where's Kelly?" And I'm like, "I'm over here."
So we're just going round with the glue stick here, just to hold the ribbon in place. We could go onto this camera, but I've got a horrible feeling it might cut out now, so we won't do that. We'll just keep you on this camera for the moment. And we'll go all the way around the edge there with our red ribbon and the scissors.
We're a double act.
Is that right?
Yeah. We're like the cake.
We're like Ant and Dec. The bush tucker trials, there aren't any.
Or it's me sitting behind the camera trying not to eat the chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. Right, I'm going to put a bit more glue on because it's sort of all come undone already.
The bush tucker trials are trying to determine our plan to actual cake. Well, if we tried to draw that, especially when we've written them a month ago.
Yeah, you have to bear in mind we plan about 4 weeks ahead, and then when we come to it we go, what are we supposed to be doing? Because we can't understand it. Right.
Someone says at the cake fair, did I feel famous? Well, Mum was more famous than me. Mum was getting all the selfies, weren't you?
Something like that, Kelly, yeah. Right, okay, last bit on, we've done it.
Now that looks like if Christmas threw up.
No, it wouldn't.
No, in a good way, you know, like someone said like, oh, Christmas. Bleh. There you go.
A bit of royal icing on
But
there.
in a really nice way. It's very vibrant. I don't think it shows like as vibrant as it is on the live.
No, it never does. Well, no, it never does it? As much as we can see it on here, that's for sure. I'll hold it up in a second. I'm just going to see if I can get the camera up a little bit higher and see we can catch the sprinkles. We might be able to go onto this camera for the moment if I quickly just put the power on here for a second, and then hopefully you'll be able to see the side view of it, because this camera is determined not to charge this evening. So, right, okay, let's have a look at the side view of it. There's my scissors, okay, so that's what it looks like from the side. There we go.
Look at that.
So, that's that. I'm going to nip back to this camera for a second, because this one's about to go as well. Let's put the charger back in there. So we will put a photograph up of this cake so you can actually see what it looks like properly rather than our attempted camera images. I'll pick it up quickly now so you can see how big it is. Just quickly before I take this off the screen, we'll just run through what we've used. So this is our Santa stocking mould, which again is on the website. This is small bows. This is the present mould. This is the hats. No, is it called?
It's called holly and candy.
Holly, that's the word I was thinking. Hats, holly and candy canes. Christmas tree sprinkles has gone all the way around the outside edge there, and then we've dusted the whole cake with Wonder Dust bright gold, so that's the colour that we've used for this particular project. We've used red dusting colour mixed with cocoa butter, and we have used moss green on the presents, and then the little dots here have been done with the dotting tools, so you can see it on there. Right, okay, let's bring this back up here so you can have a look at it. So again, we will take a photo of it. There we go. That's tonight's cake. I tip it forward without me dropping it, especially if my dad's watching, because he always laughs. I'm going to put this down. Right, I'll take a photograph of it and we'll put it up onto the page shortly so you'll be able to see it. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you have stayed with us the whole time, thank you very much. My next live will be Wednesday, so tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the Patchwork Cutters Club, which is our Facebook page. If you want to join that, go and search for it and you'll see me over there, and I'll be painting tomorrow. And then we're live again on Saturday for Let's Shop Cake Live, which is our Facebook page. We will be going through everything that we are making for Christmas this year. We've already done snow globes. I did say I would mention the chocolate Christmas tree before I went. So we have been making chocolate Christmas trees, and this is the kind of thing we've been constructing on TikTok. So we have been making some of these on TikTok. There we go. So this is our pink one.
New edition.
This is what we're saying. If you're going to put presents underneath, it would look really nice to have presents under there as well. So if you're thinking of the present mould, what else can I do with the present mould? You can put it underneath the tree when you do a little display like that, because we put them into boxes. So we have got a little milk chocolate one here as well. Let's bring this one up.
You've got the white chocolate kit up. I swear you did.
Yeah,
there
it is. So that's it's a bit shiny on the lights there. There we go. So that's the Christmas tree kit, the classic Christmas tree kit. And again, you could put little presents in there as well. And that's got the classic Christmas tree sprinkles on there as well. So you can see that we've added bits and pieces to that. And then at the weekend as well, we also made the lovely snowman, which has now appeared. And we've given him a marshmallow snow to stand in. So there he is. Okay. So again, we've made a lot of this on TikTok, but we've also made it on Let's Shop Cake Live, which is our Facebook page that you're all very welcome to come over and watch at any time. If you're interested in our cake school and you want to follow some more of my tutorials, that's our cake school address. So we have two websites. We have one for the cake school, which is the one up on screen at the moment, and we have one for our products, which is all the things that we've been showing you here this evening. So if you want to buy products, you go to Tracey's Cakes. If you want to join the cake school, you go to tracymanncakeschool.co.uk and you'll be able to see all of the classes that we have on there. We have an awful lot of classes. So if you do want to join us, then do pop over to the cake school as well. Thank you very much, Kelly.
Thank you.
Any further questions, then do tune in to Let's Shop on Saturday. We're more than happy to help you. But for now,